Hey guys, hi. It's late at night and I just have a little lamp on right now. See? When it's dark in the room, when the lighting's not that good and it's at nighttime, the filming could be very grainy, so I apologize for that. I was watching YouTube and I sometimes I watch some of my older posts, and it gets you thinking. Some of them, the videos I've made, I forgot I even done them, you know. And so when you look at them, you're looking at it in a different eye. I was looking at one of my videos on my other channel about the Nigerian girls who were kidnapped, and I was just thinking how ironic, things are, you know. I start to think that, as an African American from New York City, I think about sometimes what it would be like living in Africa, to not have been kidnapped, ancestors kidnapped and enslaved. What would my life be like? And I did a DNA check on myself, and the African portion of my ancestry, I thought it was I thought it was very interesting. A big 53% of my DNA is from Africa, and a portion of it is like on the DNA, they have like a map, and they color in the regions of the world where your DNA has affiliation. And mine was located, let's see, the three countries, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Central African Republic. Now, where these countries meet, that region, I have a very strong genetic tie. And what's interesting about it is that it's a Muslim. Those are Muslim areas, and that location, the northern Nigeria, is where those girls were kidnapped. So here, before I knew about such, that incident, I would think about what it would be like to live there. And I have, my imagination, I start to think that the society there in Africa, everyone's happy and living a traditional life and indigenous religion. I guess, I just want to think everything is all rosy and everything. And, but to see that, if I was a woman being there, what would my life be like? I could have been one of those girls kidnapped. Imagine, just going, that your life is threatened because you go to school, because you want to learn. It wasn't like these girls disobeyed their parents. Their parents sent them to school to educate them. And then you have someone else who who's doing what they're doing, and it's none of their business. It's not their children. If they want to keep their children ignorant, then that's their business. But it goes further. It's personal, and my rights will be taken away. So it has nothing to do with race, And I think in the United States, race is overemphasized, that you think everything has to do with race. And here in Africa, it's not like they were doing it to one particular tribe, and they're fake, it's October 6th as I'm taping this video, and when I did check online, I didn't see any update all the videos on the subject of the Nigerian girls kidnapping. They're 4 and 5 months old, the video. So I don't know what's happening to those girls now. I had heard before that they were being threatened to be sold. And so you know what that means. It's horrible. And I just wish that there was, that Africa was different. I wanted to believe that it was a beautiful place, and that where my ancestors, or where I come from, is a nice place, and that they're missing me and the other people that were brought over here to the Americas, and to see that, what's going on. So I guess I'm thinking about it also because I'm looking at my room. I like my room. It's cozy. It's safe. I have a lot of amenities here, and so then you compare and say, okay, you think about how awful things may have been for your ancestors that were brought here. I had gotten information from a relative of mine who's, I've never met her, but we communicated via email, and she had located, did research, and found my my ancestor who was a slave. The 3 generations of slaves that she found, and I have their names and when they were born and what town they were from. My family's background, they're from the Caribbean, and I wanted it to, because I'm researching my family history as well, and we've all heard about slavery, and I said to myself this year, I said, well, I want proof. I don't want to just hear, someone just saying that, well, I got it this year. And I'm not resentful about, learning the information. I wanted to know the information, and for me, so it makes it more real. And I think, if anyone could find out about their ancestors and to get the name of who they were, it puts more flesh on them. It makes them more human, that they had a name, let's see, this was my great-great-grandmother, and up to her own grandparents. And I have their first and last name for the great-great, but for the great-great-great-grandparents, I just have their first name. But what I'm happy about knowing this is that, my prayers, I could mention them by name, and just a way of, I guess it gives me peace that, you want the best for them. Their lives must have been horrible. And but to let them know that someone here is thinking about them, and it's for me, emotionally. But I guess you start to compare, what your life would. Are you better off, here in America or somewhere else? So it's a weird feeling, because part of me wants to go visit Africa, West Africa in particular, and also I found out that they have the Ebola. Would I want to be living in Africa right now, in some of those countries in West Africa where they have the Ebola? Oh Oh, wow, it's awful. It's like, why is this happening to that place? It's like when you think you really want to go home, is it a real home? You know? So it's something that I'm just thinking about, that I I guess I really am blessed. I'm blessed to live in a place that I could live in. I'm relatively living in safety. I mean, I love my building. It's well maintained. The management of the building really does a very good job in keeping it up. The building is relatively new. It's about 12 years old. And, maybe the people there in West Africa, where they have the Ebola and then where those girls were kidnapped, they want to get out of there, I would imagine. They want safety. So I have to count my blessings that, I know, the social atmosphere here in the U.S. could be very tensionful. I also was watching videos on the Nation of Islam, and they have several videos discussing about getting their own territory, and they said either here or abroad, but I get worried sometimes hearing about that. I am in favor of, for those individuals who want reparations and to be repatriated, to Africa or their own nation, then that's good. They should get it. And those who want to stay where they are, that's good also. But I am concerned for those who do want to form their own nation with certain groups. Will we be safe? Sometimes when people get a little power, whatever, that they abuse it. So I don't know, but the desire for among some groups here in the U.S. that with all the shootings, like the Trayvon Martin case, and then the people the guy that was choked by a cop, and all these other tragic deaths of young black men, and I start to feel sad, and so I guess that's why my mind starts to drift and think that, hey, maybe it might be better to live in Africa and you be with your own, or even me going back to the Caribbean, but like they say, the grass is greener elsewhere, and in the Caribbean, I did briefly live in the Caribbean, not on the island where my mom's folks is from, but another island. And I didn't care for it. And I did visit the island where my mother's people are from. They're from Martinique. And I also was watching videos on Martinique, and very political. But when I first visited the place about 27 years ago, it was an eye-opener. It was the first time being in a black territory. A predominantly black population, and I was very excited in a good way that I saw all types of people doing, had different occupations that I've never seen before at the time in the U.S. It was just very refreshing. And the second time I went, it was like 10 years later, and I was on a resort, and it was very tensionful. And when I left, just a couple of days after I left, they were on television, the news team that was over there, and it was a riot at the same resort that I was at. It was, I guess, labor, we call it, like labor unions. It was really heated what they showed on the news. And that was it. It was just for a couple of seconds that they showed, and after that, they never repeated the incident again. So, and they had some on YouTube, some documentaries on the history of Martinique, and regarding what they call the Bay Cays. the vacays, it's a term referring to the former white slave owners. And I, I, I didn't really think that they still were in existence, but they're still alive on that island. I was surprised. I didn't meet any, vacate. I saw one white person there, but really, I was told that in Martinique, the vacates live on the, let's see, oh, like the central part of the island towards um, the east, and they live in a gated community. I had no idea that that gated community existed. I took a bus, a local bus, um, and went to different parts of the island. Like I was there for 2 weeks, and like one day I go to one town, and the next day I go to a different town. So I got to see a lot of the island, and boy, I didn't know about that. I thought that because it's overwhelmingly black and they have a lot of density, that I think they virtually extinct that group, the vacays. But no, they're alive and well, and they're in complete economic control over the island. And they made mention that they said, okay, we don't have to really go into politics, but they'll control the finance. So it's a way of controlling the people there, and it's something that it's like you can't escape it. And because I was thinking, hey, maybe I can go to Martinique to live, because I feel here in New York, if it's another incident against a black person here, I'm just concerned about my safety, and I don't want to be around violence. And then seeing that video on Martinique, some of the things, is it going to be the same old, Because even though Martinique, they have a relatively very good standard of living, because it is still controlled by France. It's an overseas department, so I guess it's like equivalent to Hawaii, to the mainland here in the U.S. So they're full citizens, but to know that the land, the money, the economic control, the businesses, and it's a heavy agricultural society. They have masses and masses of agriculture. They have it down to the T, and but the bulk of the people don't own it, and it's these. I think they said it's about 3,000 vacays on the island. The whole island, I think, has a little over 100,000 people, and 3 to 5,000 people are the original white slave owners uh, that hurt the blacks there. So, and they have all the money. It's something. So it's just one of those things when you think something's bad, somewhere else could be worse. I just wish for peace in this world. I hate violence, but I know I don't want anyone to do anything to me, and I don't want to feel like I have to be violent back. Sometimes I get real angry about the things that I see, and but I just want safety. I want to be able to, have that sense of freedom that no matter what I do, I can do things in peace. So, I mean, I wonder what would be the breaking point for America for them to give us reparations, or even to give us our own territory. So I ask you with YouTube, what are your ideas about reparations? What would be the last straw for you to say, you know, get to give African Americans their own territory? Um, what would you say would be the, you know, means of, you should give the reparations? Would it be do you think it would be beneficial, or what? Um, yeah, so that's what's on my mind right now, and it's very provoking, all the stuff that's happening now. But I guess, maybe you know, just refocus and, not to take things too seriously, because the world is what it is, and some things you just can't run away from, and you just stick to your ground, and stick to your guns, but stand strong on the ground, and don't let people push you around. So, peace and joy this evening to you all, and let me know what you think. So take care. Bye bye.